Hello children, welcome to biology class. So we are dealing with the lesson human health and diseases. Every day we are exposed to large number of infectious agents. However, only few of these exposure result in diseases. You know the reason, children? Yes, because our body is able to defend itself from the most of these foreign agents. So the ability of our body to fight the disease-causing organisms conferred by the immune system is called immunity. So immunity is of two types. Which are they? Innate immunity and acquired immunity. We know that innate means inborn. So innate immunity is inborn immunity. Acquired immunity means we are acquiring different types of immunity throughout our life. Okay. So we can discuss in detail about innate immunity. Innate immunity is a non-specific type of defense that is present at the time of birth. That means it is inborn. So different types of barriers are there which they help the entry of foreign agents or pathogen or antigen into our body. So we can divide the types of barriers into four. The four types of barriers in our body are physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers and cytokine barriers. These are the four barriers found within the body of a human being. First one, physical barrier. What do you mean by physical barrier? Skin or the epithelial covering is termed as physical barrier. These substances or these parts help to prevent the entry of microorganisms. We know that mucus coating of the epithelium lining and the respiratory tract or gastrointestinal and urinogenital tract are present. These structures also helps in trapping microbes entering our body. Second one, physiological barrier. Acids in the stomach, saliva in the stomach, tears from eyes, these all prevent microbial growth and these together constitute physiological barrier. Third one, cellular barrier. Cellular barriers means certain type of cells like WBC and PMNL. PMNL means polymorphonuclear leukocytes and monocytes, NK cells, natural killer cells in the blood as well as macrophages in tissue can phagocytose and destroy microbes. These type of cells undergo a mechanism termed as phagocytosis. They can engulf the foreign material and they have the ability to kill the material, and this process of engulf is termed as phagocytosis. A similar mechanism is seen in the physiological and cellular processes of amoeba, that is phagocytosis. And the last and final barrier is cytokine barrier. Virus infected cells secrete certain proteins. These proteins are termed as interferons. They protect non-infected cells from further viral infections. Clear? So this barrier is very important in current situations because we can't find medicine for this COVID-19. So nowadays different types of experiments are going on. So children, what is interferon? If a virus is infected a person, that person's cells will have the ability to secrete a particular type of protein, that is interferons. These interferons are capable to protect non-infected cells from further viral infection. Clear? So these are the four types of innate, inborn barriers found in the body of a human being. Clear? Innate immunity clear? Then second one is acquired immunity. What do you mean by acquired immunity? It is characterized by memory. Okay. So this means that our body, when it encounters a pathogen or antigen for the first time, that produces a response called primary response, which is of low intensity. So subsequent encounter with the same pathogen elicit a very highly intensified secondary response. This is described to the fact that our body appears to have memory of the first encounter. Clear? So the primary and secondary immune responses are carried out with the help of two special type of lymphocytes present in our blood. Children, do you remember which are the two types of cells present in our blood? Yes, they are B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. The B lymphocyte produce an army of proteins in response to pathogens in our blood to fight with them. These proteins are called antibodies or immunoglobulins. Clear? What is the function of B lymphocyte? They have the ability to produce a protein in response to pathogens into our blood to fight with them. Whereas T cells can't secrete this type of antibodies or proteins, but they can help B cells to produce antibodies. Then next one is structure of antibodies, repeatedly asked this question. Okay, so each antibody molecule has 4 peptide chains, 2 small chains called light chains and 2 longer chains called heavy chains. What's the structure? 2 long chain and 2 heavy chain. Hence, we can represent the antibody as H2L2. 2 heavy chains and 2 light chains. I will show you the structure. This is the structure of antibody molecule. So this is site for antigen binding. So this is the first heavy chain, second heavy chain, first light chain and second light chain. Clear, children? This is a repeatedly asked question. So study it carefully. And different types of antibodies are produced in our body. IgA, IgM, IgE, IgG are some of them. What is the meaning of Ig? Yeah, antibodies are also known as immunoglobulins. So we can use the symbol Ig for representing an antibody. Clear? So these are different types of antibodies. Because these antibodies are found in blood, this type of response is also termed as humoral immune response. Clear? So in this chapter we have to discuss about 2 types of responses, humoral immune responses and cell mediated immune responses. So this antibody mediated responses are known as humoral responses. You know the reason? Yes, these antibodies are found in blood. That's why this type of response is termed as humoral immune response. Clear? And the next one, this is one of the 2 types of our acute immune response, antibody mediated or humoral immune response. The second one is cell mediated immunity or cell mediated immune response. So the T lymphocytes mediate cell mediated immune response, whereas antibody mediated or antibody humoral immune response are produced by B lymphocytes. Because B lymphocytes have the ability to produce a protein termed as antibody, whereas T cells can't produce this antibody. That's why they mediate another type of acute immunity response, that is T lymphocyte or CMI, that is cell mediated immune response. Clear? Very often, when some human organs like heart, eye, liver, kidney fail to function satisfactorily, we have to go for transplantation, isn't it? So the transplantation is the only remedy to enable the patient to live a normal life. So we have to search for a transplant. So tissue matching, blood group matching are essential before undertaking any graft or transplant, or even after this patient has to take immunosuppressant all his or her life. You know the reason? Yeah, this transplant or graft is a foreign substance, isn't it? So the body is able to differentiate self and non-self, and the cell-mediated immune response is responsible for graft rejection. Otherwise, the body will reject the graft or the transplants. That's why it is very important. Okay. Next topic is active immunity and passive immunity. What do you mean by active immunity? When a host is exposed to antigens or a foreign substance, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies, anything, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is known as active immunity. Active immunity is very slow and takes time to give its full effective response. So, injecting a microbe deliberately during immunization or infectious organism gaining access into body during natural infection induce this active immunity. But when ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign agents, it is known as passive immunity. Clear, children? So, one more thing, do you know mother's milk is considered as very essential for newborn infant? because the first mother milk soon after the parturition is known as colostrum, a yellow colored milk that is rich in IgA, immunoglobulin A. Not only IgA, the fetus also receives some antibodies from mother through the placenta during pregnancy. So these are some examples for passive immunity. Now active immunity and passive immunity clear? Next topic is vaccination and immunization. It's a familiar topic for us, right? A lot of vaccines are available for polio virus, then chickenpox virus, smallpox virus, and we are all the scientists are very much worried about coronavirus, and we hope we can produce that virus recently, isn't it? So we can start the topic vaccination and immunization. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory. Okay, the immune system must have a memory. We discussed it already. In vaccination, a preparation of antigenic proteins or pathogens are inactivated or weakened pathogen or vaccines are introduced into body. This is the principle. Okay, in vaccination, a preparation of antigenic proteins of pathogen or inactivated or weakened pathogen, either protein or inactivated pathogen can introduced into the body of the host. So the antibodies are produced in the body against this antigen would neutralize the pathogenic agents during actual infection. Clear, children? So the vaccine also generate a memory, B cells and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with a massive production of antibodies. So it will be very easier for the host body for the production of antibodies. Clear? If a person is infected with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is referred as in tetanus, we need to directly inject the performed antibodies or antitoxin. Okay, these antitoxin preparation containing antibodies to the toxin. Even in the case of snake bite, the injection which is given to the patients contain performed antibodies against the snake venom. This type of immunization is called passive immunization. And recombinant DNA technology, rDNA technology. We are using this technology for this production of these type of antigenic polypeptides. Antigenic polypeptide means antigenic protein. So this mechanism is there in our 11th lesson, biotechnology principles and applications. So in detail we can discuss rDNA technology during that class, but keep it in mind this rDNA technology are using for the production of antigenic polypeptides. Okay. So vaccine produced using this approach allow large scale production and hence greater availability for immunization. An example is given in our textbook from yeast hepatitis B vaccine had produced. Okay. Next topic is allergies. It's a familiar term for us. Actually, what is allergy? Yes, the exaggerated response, isn't it? The exaggerated response of the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. So the substance to which such immune response is produced are called allergens. So the antibodies produced to these are of IgE type, that is immunoglobulin E will be more while we are going for a blood test of this allergic patient. We can see a very elevated amount of IgE will be present in their blood serum. Clear? So common examples of allergens are mites and dust, pollen, animal dangers, but individual differences are there. Different people have different substance as allergens. Symptoms of allergic reactions include sneezing, watery eyes, running nose, and difficulty in breathing. Allergy is due to the release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin. So to reduce allergic actions, we have to use antihistamine or different types of steroids. Okay. For determining the cause of allergy, the patient is exposed to or injected with very small dose of possible allergens. So that is a determination methods, and nowadays it is a lot of test laboratories are there to determine the cause of allergy. So the patient is the patient is exposed to or injected with very small dose of possible allergens, and